With this exercise, we're going to do a row. So we're working on those shoulder blade muscles, trying to really retract back. And remember, when we do a row, we want to make sure that that shoulder blade is going back and down as we're pulling back. We want to make sure we're not elevating up with that shoulder. So when you're pulling back, make sure that the elbow doesn't go past the torso. If the elbow goes past the torso, the shoulder is going to want to pop forward, and we're kind of being counterproductive to what we're really trying to do here. We're really working on that shoulder blade motion of trying to go from the outside of our back and then come towards the center of our back. Now, if we're having trouble, like we feel our low back is starting to tense up or we have low back problems, an easy fix to that is to sit in a chair. So if you feel like you're doing your rows and as you're doing them and standing, your low back's getting pretty tight, our low back is a substitution muscle to help get our shoulders back and get better posture. And what we want to make sure we're not doing is contracting our low back muscles. So we're going to do what we call a supinated row and seated. So I want you to find a chair. It is better if you have back support to your chair so that you can feel what your back is doing. So in this position, I'm going to tuck my pelvis under a little bit. We're doing that posterior pelvic tilt. As I do hunch. You see, I do slouch forward, and that is okay. My rib cage gets tucked under just a little bit too when I do that. It's like I'm doing a crunch seated, but I'm not doing it to that extent. I'm just doing a little bit. Now, when I do this, it does change my torso. So my torso is now coming forward a little bit. So it's going to make this row slightly harder to get that shoulder blade back and down, because as I come back and down, I do want to extend. So you do have to fight that. So let's go ahead and get our little pelvic tilt going. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our arm out in front of us. And as we come back, my thumb is starting up. It's like I have a hold of a doorknob. And then as I pull and do my row, shoulder blade back and down, I'm opening that door and I'm pulling it towards me. So what I'm feeling here is I'm feeling a little bit of my biceps working. I'm feeling those shoulder blade muscles back and down and around my shoulder blade. I feel a little bit of a stretch up here, which is okay, but I'm not popping up and activating it. And then my abs are actually getting a little bit of workout because they're holding me here because the band's wanted me to pop up. So we're going to do this again. Pelvic tilt, a little bit of a rib cage tuck here. Thumb starts pointed to the ceiling. Then I'm going to open that door as I pull my shoulder blade back and down. My palm faces the ceiling. And then I go ahead and return to that starting position where my thumb is up. The whole time I'm doing my rows, I'm maintaining my little bit of an ab tuck here. My pelvis is tucked under and my rib cage is tight. So you can see from the other side, I've got my little tilt going on. I'm going to go ahead and start with my thumb up as I pull. My palm hits the ceiling. My shoulder blade's going back and down. I'm holding it for a second or two. I'm making sure I'm feeling those shoulder blade muscles on the bottom side of the shoulder blade, a little bit in the armpit, and then the center of the upper back, not my lower back, and my abs are engaging. Then I'm returning to start, and my thumb goes back to that starting up